Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Smackdown. And tonight's Smackdown was from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. And I gotta say, I enjoyed Smackdown tonight. It was a decent show tonight. It was much better than Raw last night. But Smackdown has just been delivering over the past few weeks. But the show opened up tonight with Randy Orton coming out, and he says, saying how Jeff Hardy ended up calling him out last week. And he said, how did it turn out? And he then shows a clip of what he did to Jeff Hardy last week. Orton says he's here to dismantle our favorite identities. And he'll become violent, making us, want to change the channel. He complains about not getting the respect from anyone in the crowd or in the back. He ends up giving us the history lesson, saying, he was the youngest world champion, and that he's main evented every show on multiple occasions. And from all that, he says, "Oh, we still don't respect him." So Orton says he'll erase every superstar we believe in, and we started with Jeff Hardy, piece by piece by piece. And he says it's not his fault, and that it's on each and every one of us. So that was the segment that Randy Orton did, but it was a good opening segment to SmackDown from Randy Orton. Very, very interesting. So then we had Becky Lynch and Charlotte backstage. Charlotte ends up saying to Becky that she wasn't trying to ruin Becky's moment last week, and Becky says she gets it, and that they both want the SmackDown Women's Championship, but it put Becky in a tough position. And Becky wanted to be happy for Charlotte, but she ends up telling Charlotte that she wanted Carmella for to herself. And she says at SummerSlam she'll prove she's the best by beating the best. And Charlotte says, it means a lot. And she asks Becky if they both are okay for their tag team match tonight. And Becky says, to Charlotte, of course. And then they take jabs at Sasha. She takes jabs at Sasha and Billie, and because Becky was like, "Oh yeah, we aren't like Sasha and Billie." So Becky ended up taking jabs there. So, but it was a good backstage segment with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Although I heard that they want to try to make this match between Carmella, Becky, and Charlotte. I heard rumors saying that they want to put Asuka in it, and so it will be a fatal four-way for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. That's what I heard. They're thinking about putting Asuka in this and making it a fatal four-way. So we had the first match. It was Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus Peyton, Royce, and Billie Kay, the Iconics. Before the match even started, the Iconics ended up coming out. They ended up playing a game of word association. The crowd was chanting "boring" throughout what they had to say. And the match itself, it was decent. You had Carmella on commentary for the match. Becky Lynch and Charlotte ended up getting the win. Charlotte ended up locking in the figure 8 on Peyton Royce to score the win. So, but all in all, it was decent match. It was a decent women's match. Then after that, we had Renee Young. She was interviewing the New Day. Biggie says, their commentary last week was dynamite, and that they're going to try something different this week. And then we see Kofi. Then he puts on a blonde wig, and he ends up becoming a interviewer, and he names himself Kramer Kingman. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny though. And he talks to his partners about Cesaro and Sheamus, who they're going to be taking on tonight in the tag team tournament finals, and the winner will get to be, the #1 contender for the SmackDown tag team championships against the Bludgeon Brothers. And Xavier Woods says Cesaro and Sheamus smell like rancid meat, and that they beat them before, and then he says we'll just beat them again. And so they have a few words to say to the Bludgeon Brothers. Biggie ends up saying they'll make sure that the Bludgeon Brothers will bow down to the power of positivity. So it was a funny interview with the New Day, and Kofi putting on that blonde wig and becoming an interviewer. Then after that, we had the Miz. He wasn't at the arena for SmackDown. Of course, he was where he was last week with the Miz and Mrs. Thing, where he had the his two guards there. So Miz announces that he will take on Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. So that's gonna be awesome to see. The Miz and Daniel Bryan finally going at it at SummerSlam. It's gonna be a decent match, hopefully, or a good match. But I'm looking forward to it. Then we saw Becky and Charlotte walking backstage. Charlotte says how much she loves tagging with Becky. Becky says things will be, a little different at SummerSlam. And Charlotte says, they'll just have to be great against each other. And then we see them have, that T salute that they always do. And then right, after this segment ended, you saw a pissed off look on Becky's face. And right here, if Becky doesn't win the title at SummerSlam, this could potentially be, a heel turn for Becky at SummerSlam, where she'll probably turn on Charlotte. So, but I do hope Becky wins it. I don't want to see Charlotte win again. Please let it be Becky to win the title at SummerSlam. Then we had AJ Styles coming out saying, last week Samoa Joe made it personal by talking about his family. And he says Styles says he wants to be the greatest WWE superstars for his family. And he ends up saying he's not going to let Joe put his hands on the title, on the WWE Championship. And he says Joe is not going to be walking out of SummerSlam as the WWE Champion, and that he'll be lucky to walk out at all. So it was a pretty good. It was a good segment with Styles. It was decent. It was just Styles, talking about family. And then we had after that, Lana was backstage getting ready for her rematch against Zelina Vega. Rusev comes up to her and says that, she was right last week and that he should be more supportive. He ends up telling Lana that he will be in her corner during her match, and it's going to be a happy Lana day. So Aiden English ends up coming, apologizing, saying he hasn't been fair to both Rusev and Lana. They both forgive Aiden, and Rusev Day is back together. And so Rusev ends up telling Aiden English to stay in the back during the match. So that was what happened backstage. Then we had the match, Zelina Vega versus Lana, the rematch, and it was an okay match. Nothing, not great or perfect by any means. Of course, you had Andrade out there in Zelina's corner, Rusev in Lana's corner. And towards the end of the match, you had Andrade getting involved in the match. Rusev ends up taking him out. And, Zelina didn't really like that, so she ended up kicking Rusev in the back of his head, which allowed Andrade to get back up, and he ended up throwing Rusev into the ring post. And that led to Aiden English coming out. He ends up spearing Andrade into Lana, which Lana was on the top, and it ended up knocking Lana off the top, and that led to Zelina ended up hitting the double knees in the corner to Lana to score the win. So Zelina wins the match again. So it's 2-0 for Zelina. Well, yeah, Zelina got 2 wins already against Lana. So, but all in all, it was an okay match. It was not great by any means. Then we had Shinsuke Nakamura being interviewed by Renee Young. Nakamura says, he has questions, the idea that he has to defend the United States Championship against Jeff Hardy since he's been erased. He says, he'll fight what's ever left of him. And so R-Truth and Ty Dillinger come. R-Truth demands a title shot at SummerSlam. Nakamura asks, why'd he do that? And Truth says he's going to earn the match by pinning Carmella. I'm like, what? And so Nakamura says something in Japanese to R-Truth. He gets shocked, and he says the match with Carmella is off, and he wants Nakamura tonight. So that was a whole thing that happened backstage with Nakamura and R-Truth. Sorry about that, but after that, the Nakamura interview and R-Truth and Ty Dillinger was there. After that, Byron Saxton was in the ring, and he brings on the Miz, which the Miz, of course, on the Titantron. Byron asks Miz if he's afraid, and Miz ends up cutting Byron off, and he ends up calling Byron a second-rate commentator. Miz says he's been too busy to think about Daniel Bryan, that he should be the WWE champion. Miz says he's done sharing the spotlight with someone who hasn't earned it, and he rails against Daniel Bryan for calling him short, for calling him soft. He says he's not hiding from anybody. And at SummerSlam, he'll expose Daniel Bryan for being beneath him. And so Daniel Bryan, we see him attack Miz, punches Miz in the face like he said he was going to. One of Miz's guards then takes a glass vase with flowers in it, and he ends up hitting Daniel Bryan. He ends up hitting Daniel Bryan with it, and the glass shattered everywhere. Miz then end up taking off, and that's how the segment ended. So really looking forward to seeing the Miz and Daniel Bryan go at it at SummerSlam. Really looking forward to it. Then we had Nakamura versus R-Truth. This was a quick match. Beginning of the match, R-Truth gained momentum in the match when Nakamura did his "come on," that thing, and then R-Truth ended up doing it, which I laughed at. But R-Truth had some momentum in the match, and then Nakamura ended up taking over. Nakamura ended up hitting the Kinshasa to Truth. So Nakamura ended up winning the match. So, but all in all, it was a quick match, in my opinion. Then the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, ended up cutting a promo about their potential challengers, whether it would be the New Day or the Bar. And they say the test awaits them tonight. After, they will be waiting and excited, and they're ready to break whoever wins mentally and physically. So that was the promo that the Bludgeon Brothers ended up cutting. Then they were in the match. They versed 3 jobbers, I guess from Orlando, who wrestled down there. It was the Bludgeon Brothers versus 3 SK. Competitors were Alechi Lee, I think that's how you pronounce the first name, Julio Rivera, and Pavel Koslov. This was a 2-on-3 handicap match, and it was a quick match. Not great by any means, but the Bludgeon Brothers end up winning the match, of course. So those guys were just jobbers. So then we had the main event. New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar. This was the Tag Team Tournament Finals match. The winner will be the #1 contender for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They'll face the Bludgeon Brothers. So for New Day, it was Biggie and Kofi competing. And this was a good main event. This was an enjoyable main event. Back and forth between the both of them. Both of these teams did a really awesome job in this match. The crowd was hot for this match. They were really enjoying this. They were really enjoying this matchup. But New Day ended up getting the win. Biggie and Kofi ended up hitting the Midnight Hour on Cesaro to score the win. And so the New Day are now the #1 contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Bludgeon Brothers. So, but, the New Day may be slaughtered by the Bludgeon Brothers. So, that's just my opinion. I know that's probably going to happen. The Bludgeon Brothers are going to retain. And this is going to be happening at SummerSlam. I have to say the Bludgeon Brothers are going to walk out of SummerSlam still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But if the New Day ends up getting the win, I would be shocked, to see them pull a win against the Bludgeon Brothers. Because the Bludgeon Brothers, they have been, Harper and Rowan, ever since they came back, they have been unstoppable. They have been dominating. So, but that would be my pick. I think the Bludgeon Brothers are still gonna walk out of SummerSlam still the SmackDown Tag Team champions. So then after the match, we saw the Bludgeon Brothers were watching from the crowd, and they end up turning and leaving. So and that pretty much ended SmackDown for tonight. But like I said, really enjoyed SmackDown tonight. There was some hype on the SmackDown side going into SummerSlam. SmackDown has been doing a decent job hyping up their matches for SummerSlam way better than what Raw is doing for their SummerSlam matches. I'm more interested in the SmackDown SummerSlam matches than whatever the shit that they got, for the Raw SummerSlam matches. So, I mean, look at this. I'm looking forward to The Miz and Daniel Bryan. I'm looking forward to AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. What is there to look forward to on the Raw side for SummerSlam? Not looking forward to Roman versus Brock 3. Ronda Rousey is probably going to be the new Raw Women's Champion. I could tell you that. So, but yeah. Okay, so anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of SmackDown. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all back here for my Lucha Underground review, which will be coming up this week, whenever they post it online. So until that review, I'll see you all later. Bye.